Hi, good evening. This is my presentation on the art of steam distillation and the impact on the environment. Modern historians are still fascinated with the diverse interests of Leonardo da Vinci, as seen in his artwork, notebooks, drawings, and writings. Leonardo's effort to draw attention to main ideas that field of current mechanics we can find interesting on distillation. Now we are all familiar with art and the elements, which is point, line, shape, form, color, value, texture, and space. A few definitions. So why do I feel the science behind nuclear fission is an art? Well, in short, nuclear desalination, which also has one of the lowest death tolls of energy source and one of the lowest life cycle CO2 emissions, which will save our fossil energy and protect the environment, because the information in these works and a few other reliable sources provides us with the facts for this presentation. Secondly, the first slide is an explanation of why it interests me. In fact, George, in his book Steam Power Plant Engineering, says that his book, as knowledge to work, being to provide large amounts of power for commercial purposes by saying, by far the greater part of the mechanical and electrical energy generated for commercial purposes is furnished by steam power plants. So whereas 100 years later, as the internet has slowly become a source for our society, we can find information from the energy that highlight our technical advancements to producing electrical power. For an example, there's a quote here. At present, most desalination plants are fossil fuels and to a lesser degree clean energy. For some time now, nuclear energy has been used for desalination processes. According to the International Atomic Energy, these projects need large quantities of energy which can be obtained from nuclear reactors. So the third slide is an article, Bring Back Nuclear Power by David. Small quotes. Small modular reactors, long as the future of nuclear energy, will actually generate more radioactive waste than commercial nuclear power plants, according to research from the Stanford and the University of Columbia. Continuing the question, what energy shows that modular nuclear plants will reshape our future? Well, there's information from the Washington Post. And then in that article, they highlight that they're safer, smaller, and cheaper. Modular nuclear plants could reshape our future. So, Bringing Back Nuclear Power is a book. And the abstract on the first line mentions, but where traditional reactors can generate between 600 and 1,000 megawatts of energy, SMRs generate less than 300. Still enough power to communities up to 10,000 people for a decade. Small modular reactors, also known as SMRs, function in much of a way as large reactors, but at a fraction of a size. So, a new reactor can produce about 740,000 fewer tons of greenhouse gases every year than existing reactor models, a figure equivalent to the emissions of nearly 160,000 gas cars. Yet it seemed to me, after spending some time reading the information, that impels us to bring back nuclear energy because it has opened a new path to net zero and are a third the size of conventional ones. He goes on. Small modular reactors, also known as SMRs, function in much of the way as larger reactors, but at a fraction of the size. The science remains the same. An atom splitting process known as nuclear fission generates a large amount of heat, which is then converted into steam that drives turbines that energify our cities. By doing this, David challenges the reader to find meaning in nuclear fission. Generates fewer tons of greenhouse gases when compared to a coal power station. So then we go back to this, The Art of Steam Distillation. This is an actual book that was published in 1651. The many passions of Leonardo da Vinci, as seen as his artwork, journals, writing, and sketches, still uh, we still find a lot of interest, just like we find in the Mona Lisa. Now, what information shows that modular nuclear plants will reshape the cold energy in our future? Coal country is a ripe target for this experiment, with infrastructure that could be reproduced, capable workforces, and communities urged to reclaim dominance in the energy community. That's from the Washington Post. Look, so how do we get the idea of coal power plants is an art and the impact on the environment in a positive way came into my mind on an idea of reshaping coal power plants with small modular reactors. The evidence can be seen in the works of steam power plant engineering. So that's something that came into my mind. It's going to be an art to kind of not to reshape these things, but to recreate these things so where they can actually fit modular reactors. So that's how I can explain that steam distillation is an art, and I like to end this presentation with that note. Thank you.